And good morning, race fans. Currently sitting here watching the 206 Sportsman as well as the 206 Cadets take to the track here for qualifying. I'm Sheldon Atkins, joined in the booth right now by a good buddy here, Ian Fisher. How's it going this morning, Ian?
Oh, it's doing really good, Sheldon. Really great to be back here in Indianapolis again, and well, Whiteland to be more specific, but in the greater Indianapolis area, and back here again on Kart Chaser. Really excited to be back at this track. You and I were talking a little bit before the race. Unfortunately, we don't have our favorite turn out there, the big bank turn in this layout, but should be a great day of karting. All in all, getting started a little bit earlier today to try to get everybody out of the heat as soon as we possibly can. But hey, I'm all here for it, and I'm glad to be here with you, Sheldon.
Absolutely glad to have you here as well. As we see, we already have one issue with the cart here on track. They're on a quick local yellow here. As it appears it's...
Who that is for you there. Looks like it's potentially Lilac Simonello. I did see a 40 on the cart there, Sheldon, and checking the timing and scoring screen, that would match up, but we'll see if that is the case.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Leah Semenalik, which is a really tough break here to start the morning, but good news. I mean, it is early. It is, you always want to get a good spot on the grid, but at the end of the day, it is qualifying. A lot of stuff can happen in the heat as well as the race. So, no reason to throw in the towel just yet, but currently got our eyes trained on the 20 machine of Ari Berger. And I see a very familiar name up here at the top of the board right now with a 36163. That is Danny O'Gara. And tell you what, anytime that I've had the opportunity to call really much of anything here at Whiteland Park, O'Gara is definitely a name that you have to familiarize yourself with if you're trying to get the best finish possible, because he's typically up there at the top of the charts week in and week out.
Yeah, you said it, and also Simon Alec too. One of those drivers that, again, you normally are used to seeing up towards the front. So see if they can get their technical issues sorted away and back out on track. Like you kind of mentioned, you want to have those issues early if you're going to have them. It gives you a chance to at least get in there diagnosed, and it doesn't ruin the rest of your day, hopefully. But we have seen that before. We've seen it happen in warm-ups. We've seen it happen in qualifying where you got to get those mechanical gremlins worked out of the cart before you get going for the day. So hopefully it doesn't set things back too far. Right now we've got a little bit of a 2-3 car bundle here on your screen. Working along in qualifying, and I'm interested to see too as we go farther in the session if we'll follow the trend that we normally see, Sheldon, where your qualifying times pick up later in the month.
Yeah, I'm certainly waiting to see what some of these guys a little bit further in the grid do here. Currently, James Fox moving up 2 spots at last lap, the third. Gonna drop one here, though, as Blake Martinez brings it up to second place with a 35-2, just separating himself 0.6 off of the hot lap set down by Danny O'Gara.
Something else I noticed too, Blake Martinez, a really good lap that last time by. That's going to put him in the second spot. Again, still about a second, about 3/4 of a second difference between your pole sitter right now and the rest of the field, kind of filtering back through there. Again, about 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in our qualifying session. We'll see if anybody is going to challenge O'Gara for his top spot here going into our first heat.
And I tell you, man, when we get here to a lot of these younger classes, it always impresses me, just the level of talent, the level of racing intelligence that we see out of some of these young drivers. I mean, cadets, age 7 to 10, sportsmen 8 to 12. It's just so impressive, right? Because I remember when I was that age and I decided that I wanted to attempt sim racing, it was pretty much all gas, no brakes. I can't figure out why the car's not turning, and slamming through every AI on Gran Turismo. I don't know how it worked out for you, Ian, but that was my childhood. It took us a little while to evolve.
Well, it's really funny that you say that, and I'm sure that everybody came here to listen to our personal stories this morning, but since you brought that up, I was playing NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup the other day, which I'm sure anybody growing up in motorsports, like you said, probably played that game at one point or another. And I remember, like you said, when I was a kid, the game was so hard, I couldn't understand why I couldn't do anything right. I was always slamming into the wall, slamming into other cars, and I picked it up again recently the other day, and I played it, and I was like, oh, I was just a kid, and I was incredibly reckless, and that's what it was. And even when I was younger, going to a go-kart track or something like that, I had no idea what I was doing. So going back to what you said, to tie this all together as we see the checkered flag fly, it is really impressive to see everybody out here at the age they are doing what they're doing out here in Indianapolis.
And what's impressive is Danny O'Gara is going to retain the pole here. Blake Martinez really reeled in some heater laps there at the end. They're going to bring him really close, just 100th off of the pace. 34.495 up at the top, at 34.512 in second. All right, Berger bringing it home third with Milan Lick. Where is it? Sorry, I'm having issues reading. Bringing home fourth, James Fox fifth, Bo Laser sixth, seventh going to Patrick McNeely, followed by Keelan Kuntz, Tate Hall, Cole Scott, Grace Geist, Reed Crampton, and Leah Semenalik after an unfortunate start. Not going to be able to turn the time. That's your top 13 here.
I'm going to be brave for you. I think it's Milan Ilic, but if someone can correct me on that, I'd really appreciate it. So I'm going to be 5 minutes plus 2 laps for each of these groups, and then a final 10 minutes plus 2 laps as we see karts going out on the track right now, Sheldon.
Yeah, right now, 206 Masters taking to the track, and I'll tell you what, this right here, this is the series that at this track now. Everybody does a great job, but these guys right here, these guys put together one heck of a show every time I get to covers. We've got one kart off the track right now, but there's not a guy in the field in this group right here that I don't think is capable of getting the win. Yeah, Troy Tony. I've covered him multiple times. Brian Williams, always fast. Evan McCorkadell, Matt Geist, Kevin Stemanelli. These are names that just always jump out to me every time I get the chance to cover here from Whiteland Park. And right now, Matt Geist sitting down the best lap at the moment with 37.998, just 1/100th of a second over top of second place J. Brian Williams.
Well, and you bring it up too. It's something that I really appreciate every time I come and cover a race here at Whiteland Park is that you do see that. You see the same names in the classes year after year after year. I think this is my third year doing stuff with Kart Chaser, and you mentioned you see the same names every single year. A lot of great familiarity throughout this garage out on the racetrack as well, and it's really fun for us to cover too because you can see trends develop over time. You can see some drivers develop, some drivers regress to the mean a little bit. It's interesting to see all the development that everybody goes throughout the years.
And the 2.6 Masters, you're higher in age, if you will. The plus 35 group.
More experienced, I think, is the right way to put that.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, these guys, they've got family racing all week. Everybody's really close here, and all these drivers, they've been going against each other for so long. They're all pretty strong friends, but you couldn't tell that if you're watching it. If you're just watching the race up here in the booth, because it's like having a pack full of Earnhardt. These guys will throw bumpers and slam at each other's doors more often than not, but still somehow keep these karts in one piece and bring them home.
Well, I think, again, that's a testament to the familiarity that all these drivers have out here in the garage as well, as they kind of know each other's limits, you know what I mean? They know how aggressive they can go at each other or how not aggressive to go at a certain driver. Maybe they know one driver is a little bit more, capable under pressure than another one, and you adjust your driving style accordingly. But again, it goes back to that familiarity that everybody has that it just makes the driving so good. As you can see right here, this is a little bit of a snippet that we'll see later on in the racing. A lot of these 3 kart packs, 2 kart packs, you see sometimes you're going to have one kart break away by itself, but not very often. The aerodynamic effects here are going to be very important. Maybe not so much with the layout that we have today, Sheldon. A little bit shorter, not as much straightaways. You see a lot more cornering here as you see them from the inside. But it is going to be significant close racing between 2 or 3 car packs probably most of the day is what we'll see.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, Derek Hastings jumping to the top of the board with a 0.3 of a second gap over second place J. Brian Williams. Troy Tony going to fall down a little bit to third place for the time being. And I think Matt Geist is probably just out here kind of trying to keep the tires cool to make a good stab for it at the end. Sitting there in fourth place right now, typically seeing him all the way up at the top.
Yeah, and then we also got to look at the effects that the slipstream makes qualifying as well. I was kind of interested to see last time by, you saw a pass there on the inside in that group of 4. I kind of would have imagined they all would have kind of stuck together to help each other out for the best qualifying time. But, it might depend on if one kart wants clean air versus another one, or if they just want to be in that slipstream to try to help out off the draft there, as you kind of see Brian Williams tucking in behind that other kart right there, trying to get some of the slipstream that we mentioned, Sheldon.
Yeah, and definitely we are at a limited 0.2 with the slipstream here at this track.
Correct.
Compared, yes. I don't know how much it is exactly going to help these guys. I mean, with the kart that we have on track right now, though, I think you're going to see probably the maximum as much as slipstream goes, right? Because we got bigger guys behind the wheel here than a lot of the kid kart stuff that we do, or the younger groups that we do. And I imagine kart's probably a little more limited because we got a little bit more weight underneath them. So I would imagine that this would be where slipstream really matters the most, because these guys are going to be punching a little bit bigger of a hole in the air. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. I just like to race cars on video games, and then when I get the opportunity, talk about them.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of a physical push right there. I don't know if I saw that or not, which is I'm pretty sure allowed, but an interesting tactic nonetheless to see if you can actually physically push these carts to go a little bit faster in a run. Again, stuff that we will see how it works over the course of the evening. The morning and then the evening. I feel like it's evening time already, but it's not. It's about still what 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So as we see the checkered flag fly here in the 206 Masters class, we'll take a look at the qualifying results there. Derek Hastings is going to be your pole sitter with a 33.887. And going back through the rest of the list here, Jay, Brian Williams, Troy Tony, Matt Geis, Joseph Iderte, Evan McCorkdale, Kevin Simon Alec, Tyler Demon, and Brian Sutherland is going to make up the top 9 of your 206 Masters class and your full field for when we go into Heat 1. Sheldon, anything really stand out to you there or kind of what we expected?
No, I mean, what really stands out to me here is your top 5. No, heck, I mean, your top 6 here only separated by 0.6 of a second.
Mhm.
That right there, that's going to make for a good race once we get down to showtime later on this afternoon, as well as later into the evening. But I mean, I always expect this when we see the 206 Masters because they always put on such a good show, and you're going to see a lot of aggression throughout the field once we get to race time too. Because that just seems to be the trend with these guys every time I get to cover up here.
So we were talking about the draft and the aerodynamic effects and everything like that in the last run there, Sheldon. I took a look at our layout. Layout 88 apparently is what we're on today. So there is some sections here, especially where the start finish line is, where you do have a decent run of track. Where I do think that we might see some kind of drafting, especially right after the start finish line. There's a hard left 90-degree corner. And I think we'll see that being one of the passing zones throughout the day. But the back half of the track is what I wanted to touch on. Very technical, very turny, lots of left and rights, one big hairpin in it as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that'll develop for the rest of the day. I will just say that as we see the KA junior class on track right now.
And we already have 2 carts spun around right now. A little bit of difficulty getting out here on the track. Right now, 2 carts running away with it.
And something else I wanted to mention too, Sheldon, as we're watching these qualifying sessions, as we see a local yellow being displayed right now, is trying to get one cart back onto the track right now. But something you're going to see in these qualifying sessions as well that you're not going to see in the race, obviously, is that you might see some of these drivers spread out and get themselves their own little chunk of clean air on the racetrack so they don't have to deal with traffic during qualifying. So I think you'll naturally see these sessions kind of filter out and spread out a little bit, but especially when we get into the race sessions, when we're seeing all those qualifying times as close as they are, we're going to definitely see some close racing throughout the rest of the morning and into the evening.
No, absolutely. Right now, though, on top of the board with a 0.2 of a second advantage is going to be Lucian Laser, but that is quickly eaten up as Mason Gateland sets down a heater of a lap with a 32.4, putting him 0.3 of a second above. And I think these 2 right here, they're going to be swapping times pretty much the entirety of the session, but also don't count out Jordan Le Pen. Had a bit of a rough start here, but that is also a very quick cart. And Mason Ward also very scrappy. And as the words leave my mouth, Mason Ward takes the top of the board by just 100th of a second over Mason Gateland. But Gateland going to swallow it back up here and take it with a 0.7 advantage this time with a rocket of a lap of a 31.632.
Yeah, and then we saw two carts earlier, right at the beginning of the session, had a little bit of trouble. So these qualifying times will probably see get a little bit closer to each other as the session goes on. As we mentioned, that Mason Gateland is back in the top spot right now at 31.632. 2 carts across the line that time, not going to be fast enough to unseat Gateland at this point right now. But you kind of mentioned it. I do expect this class to be relatively competitive. All these drivers should be fairly close to each other in lap times, at least within a second and a half here, as you see right now with Jordan Laban. That last time by, that's going to get him about 1.2 seconds off of your pole sitter right now. So we will definitely be watching this KA junior class throughout the morning here, because this is going to be an interesting one to watch. It's one of our smaller classes, I will say, Sheldon, but you can see that the parity between all these drivers is very, very close.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. You know, a lot of times too, you know, the larger classes are fun to cover because there's so much stuff that can happen. But when you get to these smaller classes and they're really compact but really competitive with each other, it really makes for a good show. I mean, heck, you know, most of the time the camera can only really focus on the top 4 cars, which you know, makes it a little bit easier for us up here in the booth as we see a hand up right now.
Yeah, maybe just getting all you want from it and then just heading
Yeah.
off, you know what I mean? And
They-
that is our pole sitter, Mason Galen, that pulled off right now. So maybe just thinking, I'm not going to get anything better than that right now. So no point putting extra wear on the cart.
It's definitely a
you
smart
hope.
move. Definitely a smart move. We hope that it's just a case of, hey, I know what I've got and I've run my best, and definitely hope that it's not, you know, possibly something amiss with the cart. I mean, you know, you see that very frequently.
I don't think I've ever commentators cursed anyone yet, but like it's bound to happen at one point. So
Oh, if I sneeze, the person that I said was good is probably gonna, you know, blow a motor. So I avoid talking about how good everybody is to the best of my ability.
still a little
It,
over 30 seconds left here in our KA junior qualifying session. We'll see if anybody's got anything for Mason Galen here in the last 30 seconds. You would think with our lap times right now, if you haven't crossed the start finish line at this point, this is going to be your last lap. So we'll see if anybody's able to get across the line this time here. Give Mason a run for his money. Although I don't see the checkered flag out, so maybe one more time here if you can get back to the start finish line for all of these drivers.
I'll tell you what, everybody's fighting hard for second place right now. Galen did set with a 5/10 advantage right before pulling off the track in the 64 cart. And that looks like it's how everything's going to stand, though, as Mason Galen does win the pole over Jordan Le Pen, Mason Ward, and Lucian Laser. But all these guys separated, well, until Le Pen came across the line there, everybody separated by 5/10 of a second off of your race leader.
It's getting even closer too as they come across the line and get these final times, and everybody in the 31-second bracket here for a KA junior class. So again, so far we've seen a lot of these classes, all of the KA junior class, that top 4, top 5, top 6 carts, all within about a second of the leader. So very exciting going forward.
Once you get all these guys under that little bit of slipstream that we do have on offer here, and with the opportunity to walk away with a potential win, it's going to definitely be an entertaining race.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, with as close as these times are and everything like that, there's nobody really has that pull away speed right now, right? So you're going to be seeing these moves, you're going to be seeing interesting tries for passes and stuff like that. It's going to be hard for everybody to get away from each other, and that's going to be the close racing. I mean, that goes without saying, but the point about it is that nobody is really going to be able to run away with any of these classes so far. You love to see.
As we get ready for our next class to take to the track here. More of a stronger turnout here, which is be interesting. Looks like possibly our largest class so far. As our 206 senior lights roll through the start line here. Looks like we have about a 10 cart field.
You'd have 9 carts earlier, remember that. But 10, I think you're right, is the largest we've had so far.
I'll tell you what, I'm sitting here looking at the names we have on tap here, and I recognize a few of these names. I know Braden Heber, that's going to be one to keep your eyes on. Levi Wilbur, that's a name I remember pretty well, as well as Andrew Petrie from the last opportunity I had to cover here.
And again, I know I've touched on it earlier, but it is really fun to come here as a broadcaster and see the same names year after year. But it makes it easy to prepare, right? Because you know who's going to be there and what to expect to a certain extent. but two, it's just you kind of have an expectation of the racing, and it just kind of builds anticipation as you watch it go forward here. So we'll see if anything is going to stand out here really in qualifying. You kind of mentioned it. We're used to seeing Wilbur and Heber there towards the top of this class, but we'll see if anything has changed in the past couple of months.
Right now, not much too different. Braden Heber up at the top of the board with a 34 flat over top of Levi Wilbur, who's just 0.2 of a second off pace here from the pole. Ethan Williams moving up a spot here into third, 0.7 separating him from the leader. And we don't quite have the scoring, or at least the driver name of the fourth place cart, but a good lap nonetheless with a 34.994.
Either that transponder needs to warm up, which is an actual thing, or haven't registered it yet. So either way, you'll probably see it pop up here in a while, or a few laps or so. But that was actually a fun little anecdote from when I used to work at a dirt track. You sometimes have transponders not pop up, and I guess they just have to be on for a little while before they actually start recognizing what's happening around them, which is interesting. But hey, that happens.
Something I never knew.
Yeah, it's certain brands too, apparently. Or look, man, I'll be honest with you. We were a low budget dirt track. It might have just been we had really bad transponders. It could have been.
Was it what were you working at Weber Valley?
That's a good reference. No, it wasn't there. Was not there. You could be surprised. You'd be shocked. You'd see some of the same things. But
No, I don't think you were that bad off. Those AI videos, man, they get me every time.
Anyways, back to the actual racing that's going on the racetrack.
Yeah, currently Heber's still at the top with a 33.6, and it looks like the times are starting to slow down for some of these guys here. But not for Levi Wilbur, as he closes in just 100th off of your pole sitter currently. Picking up 2 spots that last lap as well with a 33.622. Look at the parity. 0.2 of a second separating your top 4, and it does look like that cart that we didn't recognize did warm up.
Yeah, it's Colin Harden. I was just about to mention that. I think there it is. It just popped up there. So, yeah, something else I wanted to point out, too. Again, we're staying in that top 4 less than a second. Actually, looks like it goes back even farther than that. The top 5 now. Put them all under that second umbrella. Our timing screen hasn't updated that you see on our screen quite yet. So I'm looking over at the live timing that we have in the booth here. So not quite updated here. So 1st through 5th right now, that 5th place cart is actually going to be Colin Harden that you're seeing right now on your screen. We're getting time updating now. We'll see if that does it. But yeah, top 4, 5 carts right now, as you can see. Going back to 6th place there, you see is under a second now, even down to 7th place. So my goodness, this is going to be exciting going on later, Sheldon.
Yeah. It sure is. And there's so much parity in the field right now, and it's a little bit older driver too, so you get a little bit more of that race knowledge built up, that racecraft that we harp on so often in motorsports. All these drivers must be 15 and up, and the cart's sitting at about 340 pounds if I'm reading my sheet right. So that just means we're going to see a lot of good close quarters racing here as we take the last couple of seconds here in qualifying. Everybody getting their last lap in. See if anybody had a heater tucked up their sleeve as they roll through the checkered flag here. And it looks like Braden Heber had something tucked up his sleeve there as he comes across with a 33.3. Put him 700th over second place. Ethan Williams and Levi Wilbur sits back at just a 10th and 3rd, followed by Colton Kelly, Logan Lynch, Colin Harden, Tyler Sims, Andrew Petrie, Andrew Goldman, and Zachary Allen round out the top 10 here for this 10-cart field. Hey, guaranteed top 10s.
Yeah, and something I really noticed too is right at the last second there is when Ethan Williams popped into that second spot. So a really good run for him towards the end of this qualifying session to get himself on the outside of the front row heading into our first heat. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I keep saying first heat. There's going to be one heat and one heat only. There's not two heats, just one heat, and then we're going to go. We're going to go to a final. So going into our heat race, he's going to be on the outside pole. I should clarify that. And I was actually looking before we get this next class started here, Sheldon. We were talking about this before the race. We're looking at the weather today. I know we got started a little bit earlier here because of the heat and everything like that. And I do not blame anyone. If you've been in the Midwest anywhere the past couple of days, you know how hot it's been. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe here out at the racetrack. Make sure you're getting water if you're out here at the racetrack too. Make sure you're drinking water. That's very important. But that being said, the real reason I wanted to bring this up is there is about a 20 to 40% chance of rain starting at 1 o'clock, which is going to be in our second session. It's going to be starting at noon here on Kart Chaser, Sheldon. But just wanted to bring that up. Interested to see how the track will change over the course of the day. Right now, it's only about 76 degrees outside, but it is very humid from what I understand. Mostly cloudy though, so not a lot of sun on this racetrack, so should be at least relatively grippy right now.
Yeah, definitely. The changing track conditions are really going to throw the
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to Indy Kart and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Are you sick of making the wrong setup changes? Or arguing with your kid about their driving? Apex gives you the answers within seconds. Apex is the latest innovation from Kart Class, which can solve thousands of karting queries at the press of a button. No more asking random people kart setups, or being intimidated by larger teams. Just type it in and let Apex do the rest. Apex covers different kart brand setups, axles, rims, seats, and everything racecraft related. For as little as a can of chain loop, you can learn from over 30 years karting experience in seconds in the palm of your hand. Check out Apex at kartclass.com today.
All the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? And it's Sean Perez who wins in Crescent.
Ty Fisher wins $1,000 in KA100 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here. Told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Karts.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.